Here we are. It's Wednesday night. It's 8 o'clock. I don't know where the week has gone. I hope your week was pleasant. And if you've had any bad experiences or any hardships that they have now passed or are passing, life is about living with what is. And the goal of our religious faith is to help us live each day, to help us get through the day. And if it works for you, then that's fine. And if it turns out that your faith isn't helping you through good times and bad times, then take a look at some of the other faiths. There are, I don't know how many, organized and disorganized religions in the known universe. So it's not a matter of one size fits all. You've heard me say it before. There are as many ways to understand the one, to unite with the universe, as there are blades of grass on the fairway. You'll notice I'm alone tonight. Every week, I ask anyone interested in co-hosting, let me know, and you'll co-host with me. We'll meet in my Zoom room, we'll work up questions, we'll work up procedure. See, so I'm telling you, the answer is yes. Anyone watching and or listening can co-host with me. Rather than just posting on the screen that you want to join right now or say something, the answer is yes. Next week, just let me know. Something about pinning my goals. I'm still a little new at some of the TikTok, so I don't always do. Oh, I got my first person wants me to invite them as a guest. Molly, rabbiblock@hotmail.com. Send me an email, and the answer is yes. You'll co-host with me next Wednesday night. Perfect. I look forward to hearing from you. I've been going through the 11 steps to make America good again. And we're up to step 8 tonight. Rabbi Fred Reiner, one of my Reform colleagues, worked with a committee to come up with 12, 13, 14, and then before they released it, they brought it back down to 10. I think I have 11 in this series. Values. It's not about a specific religion. It's not about Judaism. It's not about ritual. It's about values. And looking at it, I was thinking, gee, Christianity and Islam, Judaism, Abrahamic religions. Why don't we take a look and see what the 3 Abrahamic religions say about these values? Then when we started on the Rabbi and I YouTube channel, Joe Sutliff, said, why don't you include Hinduism and Buddhism? And so, 5. It wouldn't be practical to do every religion in the known universe. However, I would venture that possibly most, if not all, religions in the known universe teach these values. It's not about which way you bow. It's not about what you put in your mouth. It's not about what someone says may happen to you at some point in time, or if you don't follow their teaching, bad things will happen. If you do good, it's not about any of that. And if you've been following and listening, it's been about values, a moral compass. We hear so much about a moral compass, yet our religions have a moral compass. Again, rituals are to remind us of our obligations. They're not the goal. Just like signs on the highway. As it turns out, the speed limit is not the sign. It's safe for existing conditions. So even if the sign says speed limit 65, if it's raining, snowing, or slick, the speed limit is not 65 because that wouldn't be safe. But we forget that. We think of the speed limit as some absolute, that it doesn't matter. Not the way the law is written. And so it is with our religions and our rituals. They're there to remind us of our moral obligations and our values. So let's get started with our step 8. Justice-based giving. You've heard it before. It is better to give than receive. I don't agree. Neither do you. We all like to receive, don't we? We all want to receive something. We all want to get something. And as Grandma taught us, there's no such thing as a free lunch, yet we all hold out hope one day to get that free lunch. And then someone said there's always strings attached. So, justice-based giving. This isn't about giving. It's actually about receiving. Because why do we like receiving more than... Because we want to be given a fair chance. We want to receive an opportunity to present. We want to demonstrate our skills. We want to get the job. And it's not about giving, and it's not about having strings attached. It's about the receiving. So let's take a look at how our various religions promote this value. And as we've seen, the 3 Abrahamic religions are really in lockstep. They even have the same vocabulary, which isn't surprising because they are brother-sister religions. That's why they're called Abrahamic, because they come from the prophet Abraham, Father Abraham. Common to all of us. And Hinduism and Buddhism teach the same values, coming from a different culture, different climate. They use different imagery, and yet they're teaching the same things. And that we've seen that so far. In Judaism, tzedakah. It's a moral and social obligation. Now, we sometimes translate tzedakah as charity, but that the word doesn't mean, as I mentioned, giving something to somebody and then walking away. It's truly what Jesus ended up teaching about wealth and sharing, and the idea of charitas, charity, has different levels, just like tzedakah does. And in Islam, it's zakat. The same Semitic word, tzedakah, zakat. But in Islam, it's obligatory. You're obligated to give charity. And both in Judaism and Islam, doesn't matter what your income is, everyone is expected to give. Now, keep in mind, we're not talking just about money. One can give time. One can teach. One can volunteer. So let's not get narrow and only think in terms of money. And that's why I said, isn't receiving better than giving? If you don't have a job, wouldn't you like to receive a chance to have a job? There you go. Not looking for handouts, not looking for nothing for nothing. Deuteronomy 15. If there is a poor person among you, you shall open your hand. In the book of Leviticus, it describes a procedure to let someone who doesn't have enough receive with dignity. You didn't harvest the corners of your field. You didn't pick up the fruits that fell to the ground. Individuals knew that if you were hungry, you could always go to a field, and there'd be fruits to eat. The corners would not be harvested, so you'd have wheat and barley, so you could make bread. And that's the idea of righteous giving, but it's also about it's better to receive, because I'm embarrassed that I can't afford to feed my family. I don't want you to hand me something. I want to have a chance. I want to have a job. Tzedakah in Judaism, giving someone the opportunity, is equivalent to all the other commandments. And so we're talking about more than just a just society. We're talking about giving individuals the opportunity to earn a living, to buy medicine. And if someone can't afford the full rate, then it would be discounted, subsidized, so that everyone would have dignity and a fair chance. And Christianity, Jesus' teachings on wealth, caring for the poor. A rich person has as much chance of getting into heaven as a camel has of walking through the eye of a needle. Jesus was never condemning money or wealth. It's what it does to people, and that people were being greedy and selfish. In Matthew, Jesus said, I was hungry and you gave me food. James, in his epistle, writes, faith without works is dead. And I would remind our politicians who want to post the 10 Commandments, go ahead. Post the 10 Commandments. It's a great idea. Then live them. Let our students every day bring in newspaper articles, excerpts from the radio and television about the politicians who want us to post the 10 Commandments, demonstrating that they are living the 10 Commandments and not ignoring them or manipulating them or modifying them for their own ends, or telling the Holy Father that he doesn't know Catholicism. Where does someone get off? Oh, I know where they get off doing that, and that's a shanda in Judaism. That's an embarrassment. So I would remind everyone, James wasn't just writing to the new Christians. He was writing to all of us when he said, faith without works is dead. Live Judaism. Live Christianity. Live abundance. Live it, share it, and supply it with everyone. And so, once again, it's not charitas, charity, giving to undeserving people and then embarrassing them or making them feel bad or embarrassed or ashamed. No, it's the belief that God identifies with the poor, and the sharing of wealth reflects God's justice. Zakat, it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. And that's a mandatory form of charitable giving. It's a way of sharing what Allah has given us. And it's the idea of justice, being just, being fair. And one of the reasons I quote sources is you can look this up. You can go to Matthew. You can go to the book of the Acts of the Apostles. You can go to the Epistle of James. You can go to 2 Corinthians. I don't want to filter what Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, I don't want to filter what's being taught. That's why I quote the Quran. That's why I quote the Gospels. Too often, clergy and individuals will, can I borrow $50? Gov. Certainly, money is a commodity, and one charges interest. That's what makes trade and capitalism possible. It's treated. Now, if borrowing is different from a gift, okay? And often, as I mentioned, better to we give people the opportunity, not the people, us, ourselves. In the Quran, righteousness is giving wealth in spite of your love for it. The Quran emphasizes over and over again that individuals should share their wealth with other individuals. And zakat, one of the pillars, is institutionalized justice. It's a divine right. No one has to be poor. No one should be homeless. No one should lack medications. There's plenty in the known universe. Greed, selfishness, narcissism. Giving is not generosity in Islam, it's a duty. And all three Abrahamic faiths emphasize that same thing. This idea that people don't deserve it, but I'm going to give them something, and then they should humble themselves and they should think I'm wonderful because they don't deserve it. No, that's not charitas, that's not tzedakah, that's not zakat. Because giving is not this generosity, this idea that people don't deserve it. Rather, it's divine justice. It's the way the world... Why do we have all this wealth? Why does the earth produce so much? Why have we been given so much? So we can hoard it? So we can keep score with how much money we have? So we can manipulate people with it? That's not what our religions teach us. That's not the value. A duty grounded in divine justice. Buddhism. Generosity is a fundamental Buddhist practice. The idea that nothing is permanent, we are all temporary dwellers on the planet Earth. And I think what's going on in Gaza, what Israel is doing, is beyond a disgrace, beyond a shanda. It can't be supported in Judaism. And the Orthodox Jewish community that is pushing Netanyahu to expand and to be doing this bombing and killing, they do not reflect Judaism. They are selfish, egotistical, and I want everyone out there to understand that what you see Israel doing is not supported by Judaism. There is a solution. There can be a peace when people follow Jewish values. The Orthodox in Israel are not supporting justice-based giving. They're not. And so don't make that jump to use it as an excuse to hate Jews or kill Jews or bomb or attack. It's not. No. What this proves is that anyone of any religion can be self-serving, can be selfish, and can manipulate and use the government for their own nefarious ends. That's what we're seeing in Israel. And we see that here in the United States with a lot of our politicians, using religion to amass a fortune, getting laws changed so they can get more. Generosity is fundamental to Buddhist practice. As I mentioned, nothing is permanent. I have possessions, and my children have made it very plain that most of my possessions are going in the dumpster. Truly. And our children keep telling us to spend the money. Our 5 children, 6 grandchildren keep telling us, don't save it for us. We don't want it when you're dead. You spend your money now on you. You give to the charities. You give your time. You do what you want with it because you're not permanent. because nothing is permanent. And that's a very basic Buddhist teaching. And the idea of giving in generosity in Buddhism is not based in social justice, because it's not one of the Abrahamic religions. Remember, one of the hallmarks of our three Abrahamic religions are society and a group of people and doing things. Buddhism begins to focus on you and the universe and how you fit in the universe. Reduce suffering, promote well-being, purifies the ego and the individual according to the teachings of the Buddha. What are you saving it for? What are you amassing it for? That's not permanent. And think of when someone gives respectfully, not begrudgingly, not wanting to embarrass the receiver. Generous kings, generous lay people within the Buddhist teachings. And again, as in the Abrahamic religions, everyone is expected to give money, help, training, time. And so in Buddhism, justice, we're not talking something legal, but we're talking about karma and balancing the universe. And we all are interdependent. Truly we are. So someone's greedy over here, someone's greedy over there. It's not good for the balance. Hinduism. Giving, charity is a virtuous act. Now, motivation can vary, but the goal in Hinduism is the same as in Buddhism. Alleviate suffering. Same as the Abrahamic religions. And Hinduism teaches karma, the balance of the universe. And giving must be done with purity, no exception. Supporting everyone. From the Gita, charity given in the right place to the worthy at the right time is a particular kind. The gift of food is the highest of all gifts, because we all need food to live. Here we are again. In Hinduism, giving is a spiritualized justice, righteous duty to maintain harmony in society. Revolutions, overthrowing governments, people robbing and stealing. A good deal of it happens because people don't have the opportunity. And that's what we're talking here with justice-based giving. Giving people the opportunity to provide instead of shutting them off. And when people can't afford the full amount, let's subsidize. Let's create a scale. Okay, there we have it. Legal and moral obligation. Tzedakah. Divine love and social justice. Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Zakat. The divine right of the poor. Wealth should be shared. In Buddhism, voluntary giving purifies. It supports the balance. In Hinduism, giving maintains the cosmic order, karma-based justice. And there we have our step 8. And I would love us all to prove that Hamlet was wrong when Hamlet said people's religions are more honored in the breach than in the observance. And isn't that true? We watch the news, we read online, we watch TikTok. We watch what Israel is doing in Gaza. We watch what Israel is doing on the West Bank. Security is important. A country has a right to exist. Any group that sends missiles into another country should be stopped. What if Mexico and Canada started lobbing missiles into the United States? I don't think we would all sit around and say, oh, that's okay. They're such nice people. We would send missiles back. We would send an army back. We would stop it. And so the right of self-defense, the right to exist. However, there is a point where it's overkill, if you will. It's overdone. And there may be other ways to stop. And it's up to the world to help. The UN is a political organization. It has not been good to Israel. It has not been good to the United States. And if you look at the track record of the UN, it's never lived up to its mission. Never. Never has. I see more people that would like to be invited as a guest. Someone asked me, what religion do you follow? I'm a rabbi. I practice Judaism. My goal is what God asked of me, to live Judaism so that others could see, oh, it's a good religion. These are nice teachers. Not so anyone would convert. I don't seek converts in any way, nor do we stop people from converting in Judaism, but we don't promote it. We don't tell you the only way to get into heaven is convert. We don't tell you only good things. No. All our goal is to demonstrate the Abrahamic values. But you know what? As I've been demonstrating, Islam, Christianity, the three Abraham religions are in lockstep. Hinduism and Buddhism are teaching the same values. So there are many ways to unite with the one, and I just follow the religion of my parents and grandparents and decided to become a rabbi. How do our souls heal from seeing? Yeah. It's going to take a long time to heal from what we're watching in Gaza and in the West Bank. And and I also want to send out to the Arab countries in the world, recognizing the right of Israel to exist would go a long way to creating peace. Just like Israel recognizing the right of a Palestine would go a long way to creating peace. Let's join together. And the same with the United States. Blaming, picking villain, saying this is wrong because they're wrong. I have a right to do this because they did it to me. It led to the War of the Roses. It led to the 100 Years' War. Look what happened to Hitler's Third Reich that was to last forever. Look at the millions of people who died. Stalin's Russia. Anytime we have a totalitarian regime, anytime we have a dictator, the outcome has never been good. Extremes have only led to death and destruction. And we're getting to watch that in the Middle East. However, I'm an American. I don't vote in Israel. And I've said it before, I don't approve what they're doing. I don't approve of what Russia is doing. Ukraine is a sovereign nation. But I don't see the world sending troops to stop Russia. And we watched what happened when people didn't stop Hitler at the beginning. He kept baby stepping across Europe till he reached the Channel. And then it took a lot of death and destruction to stop what Hitler and the Nazis envisioned. And the same with Stalin. We never should have waited for the Russians to enter Berlin. We should have entered and freed Berlin. Okay, a word from our sponsor. How to be Jewish in 30 seconds. Your questions will be answered in my book. Available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or anywhere books are sold. So there's no reason why you shouldn't have a copy. We're coming down to our last minute. Thank you for joining me live, and for those of you who are now listening on as a podcast, and those of you who are watching this on my other YouTube channel, thank you very much for your support. I look forward to hearing you. We're going to do step 9, we're coming to the end. And remember, anyone who wants to co-host with me, the answer is yes. Lila